So last week I talked about when do we lose the art of having meaningful conversations. And I got a couple of responses. And it made me just think about, one of the things was trust. Maybe one of the reasons why we don't have meaningful conversations anymore is because there's a lack of trust with the people that we have. Maybe because there's so many diverse opinions out there and so many people are just shouting to be heard. It takes people aback and they don't want to have conversations with people who are so emotional. But I will tell you, to be able to coexist in a conversation with someone else, I think one of the biggest things that you have to do is be an active listener. There's always that saying, the reason why we have two ears and one mouth is so we can listen twice as much as we talk. And sometimes I catch myself saying that to my kids when they want to talk back to me. And sometimes I just want them to just listen and actively listen. And so how can we do that? One of the things when you're talking to someone or they're speaking to you and you want to respond, you can use part of their phrase to say, what I hear you saying is this. Am I correct? And they can say no and they can clarify what they're saying. And if you do that and they respond, then you're actively listening and you're validating what they have said and maybe validating their feelings and maybe putting them more at ease. And maybe you're building some trust by saying that. And in that validating feelings, you can't just be dismissive of people's feelings. It doesn't work when you're having a conversation with a person you don't know. It definitely doesn't happen when you're having it with a spouse or a loved one. You have to validate their feelings. Because their feelings are their feelings. It's real to them. You can't just dismiss it and say it's stupid. Because if you do, then they immediately become shut off and they become defensive. We've all been there. We've all been on one side of that coin or the other. So, paraphrase back, just like in the military if I'm flying. Repeat back instructions. Try to validate people's feelings. Try to understand those feelings. Try to put yourself in that position and be empathetic with them. And then the last thing is, as they're talking, maybe sometimes you ask open-ended questions instead of very pointed questions. Because sometimes people feel that if you ask them pointed questions, you're trying to trap them. Which again doesn't build trust. If you're trying to trap someone, it doesn't build trust. So I do appreciate what people have responded to in my previous newsletter and my previous post on YouTube. And hopefully this will help. Because I really think we need to get back to that. We need to